Current exhibit is called Stories from the Collection, and what it is every object has a story behind it. So we have selected a variety of artifacts to represent Grimsby from the early settlement really into the 20th century, and then told the stories behind the objects.
The exhibit is a great opportunity to showcase the collection and to hear the stories about Grimsby's past.
One of the earliest items which I've always been quite drawn to is a very simple frying pan. To the average person, it looks like nothing. It's just a frying pan. And yet it was carried by a woman with her children. She came from New Jersey to the 40 by herself in 1792 in search of her husband. He had come up earlier. She had not heard back from him, did not know if he had survived. Fortunately, they were reunited and were able to settle and had their life here at the 40 or later on in Grimsby. So it shows not only the story of obviously the frying pan, but also the strength of the characters of the people. We have another top hat worn by J. Orlon, known as Bones Livingston. Bones' father established the Grimsby Independent in 1885, and Bones had quite a colorful life. When he was editor of the paper, he wore a top hat to carnivals and events, and he used to carry nickels in his pocket and hand it out to all the children. So we have the top hat on display. Or a wedding gown that was made at the Hawks store here in Grimsby. And the lady who wore the gown, Maud McDowell, married William Francis Gibson in 1902. And so we have the wedding gown as well as a photograph of the store, which was on Main Street where the CIBC Bank is now. I think it makes history come alive. I think it because people can relate to the everyday objects in their life and realize that in their own homes, they have items that are also just as important in those stories that they're going to pass on to their children and grandchildren.
The objects, photographs, and documents that tell the stories of Grimsby all come from the museum's collection.
The Grimsby Museum collection, we have items that relate from the early settlement of Grimsby from the beginning right through into the 21st century. So it includes objects, so those three-dimensional objects, photographs, documents, we have newspapers, family papers, and so it really is a broad selection of the community's history that we collect and preserve for the future.
Stories from the collection will be on display at the Grimsby Museum until Sunday, July 24th. In Niagara, you're watching The Source.